Yeah, very good morning, students. Welcome back to first year physics. In this first year physics, that I would like to tell you about a related to the Newton's law of gravitation, because already we finished a Newton's law of gravitation. In that Newton's law of gravitation, see, one formula is over. That formula is capital F is equal to capital G capital M small m by r square. So that is a Newton's law of gravitation, or we can also call universal gravitational force. Universal gravitational force. That I'll tell you. Here it is about a, supposed to say, if there are a gravitational force on a point masses, which are a number of masses are placed. I mean to say, it is obeys the principle of superposition. Sir, what is mean by principle of superposition? That principle of superposition is nothing but a, suppose you say there is a one mass m1 and here another mass is m2 is placed at a distance is r1, and there is a force of attraction between these two masses is, you say, f1, and here another point mass is placed here, you say m3, and there is a force is acting, you say, it is f2, and there is another mass is placed m3 m4, it is, there will be a force is acting, you say, here f1 f2 f3, like this it is acting. See, there are number of forces are simultaneously acting. Number of forces are acting at a one point. Suppose you want to say another force also, yes, of course you take, nothing will happen, you take a m5 it is. So that here distances are also, you say r2 it is, r3 it is, and r4 there is a force is f5 is acting, or you say f4 it is. So this all forces are simultaneously acting at a one point O. See, that is the principle of superposition is nothing but the vector sum of all forces gives a single force. The vector sum of these all forces gives a single, that we can say, resultant. So f1 plus f2 plus f3 plus f4 plus f5 plus and so on. Because there are a number of forces, f1 is acting, f2 is acting, f3 is acting, f4 is acting, f5, f6, f7, simultaneously they are overlapping at a one point, or simultaneously they are acting at a one point. Therefore, the vector sum of all forces gives a single. The single is represented as a resultant, or we can also say f net, net resultant. So the vector sum of all these gives a single, we can call as the principle of superposition. Sum of all forces gives a single, which we can call resultant, because of all forces are acting simultaneously at a one point, no? So that you add all forces, which gives a resultant. The principle we can call principle of superposition, because of overlapping at a one point. So here you write a individual forces, you take a f1 between these two, so capital G m1 m2 by, you say, r1 square it is. Suppose you want to say in a vector also, no problem. So that here f2, you take a f2, that is capital G m1 m3 by r2 square, and you take f3 is equal to G capital M capital m1 and m4 by r3 square and so on. This all values substitute here. Then resultant is represented, or it is a vector sum of these all, G m1 m2 by r1 square, G m1 m3 by r2 square plus G m1 m4 by r3 square and so on. So you look at here, G m1 everywhere is there. You take a common as m1 it is m2 by r1 square plus m3 by r2 square and m4 by r3 square and so on. Suppose you want to say in a vector form, yes, we can also say in a vector form. Therefore, we can say Fr is equal to G m1, you write here in a vector form, m2 by r1 square into r1 cap. So it is in the form of a vector I am saying, right? r2 square into r2 cap plus m4 by r3 square into r3 cap and so on it is. Of course, we know r cap is nothing but a r vector by magnitude of r. Suppose you want to replace also, yes, you can. Fr is equal to G m1, it is m2 by r1 square into r1, because here 1 is there, no, r1 vector by magnitude of r1 plus m3 by, you say, r2 square into r2 vector by magnitude of r2 plus m4 by you say r3 square into r3 vector by magnitude of r3 plus and so on. This is the form which we can say vector form, or we can say here it is a principle of superposition. The law of gravitation is obeys the principle of superposition, so that if number of charges are simultaneously placed at a different places and that all forces are acting simultaneously at a one point mass, that's what here m1 is placed at a point O and m2 is acting, m3 is acting, m4 is acting, m5 is acting, m6 is acting, m7, like that it is so on, it's to be acting. The vector sum of these all forces gives a single sum of all these forces. That's what you add all and you take a forces and substitute here in this way and you write it in a vector form. Here also we can say it is a vector form, right? It is like this, we can say it is about a what it is, we can say in the form of to be like this. Now coming to the point is, notice I will tell you about some graph related to the force and distance. Right here, suppose it's a graph. Sir, what will happen? The graph related to the force and distance, that is F inversely proportional to r square it is. So remember, if inversely proportional, the graph will be represented force and r, it represented as rectangular hyperbola, which is very important. I told you in the graphs, see if inversely proportional are there, therefore that may be represented as rectangular hyperbola like this, right? So this is about a force related, concept related, right? Let us, we'll move to the problems on the basis of Kepler's law, and as well as we'll look into the force related problems. Let us see problems. See, I would like to tell you problems on the basis of Kepler's law as well as the Newton's law of gravitation. See, first of all, I'll tell you there is a one problem is there in our material, page number 227. 227, gravitation chapter, example 1. Question number 1, say there is a given, let the speed of the planet at the perihelion, I told you in the previous class about a perihelion, is the P. In the figure 9.1 you look at, and here VP, and the sun and planet distance is SP. Sun and planet distance is SP, is the RP. That is, RP is nothing but we can say perihelion or perigee, right? Here it is a given RP and VP to the corresponding quantities at the aphelion, RA and RP, will be the planet take equal times to traverse from given as BAC and CPB. So the given is the question, in the question I will give you, it's not in the proper way, the given like this. It is the center and it is the sun is at a one point, right? This point is, you say P point is given, and this point is given in the question, it is A. There will be a, this distance is given 2A and this distance is given as 2B, and this point is we can say perihelion it is. So that here distance is we can say perihelion RP, already we know, and this distance we know, this is apogee, so that RA it is. And when it is at this distance, there is given like this, in the diagram is given, whatever the diagram is given, that I am giving you, what we need to find, that we will look at, right? So that here, this point is given as B and C, because the sun is at this point, clear? And here another focus point is S dash, this is the one focus point is F1, and it is the second focus point is F2, and is now is asking, see, there will be a relation is given RP at this point and VP, the velocity of a planet at a point P it is, and at a point A the velocity of a this distance RA, and you say VA and RA. A for what? We can say apogee, or we can say it is a aphelion. So in this given very clear, look at, one is a perihelion is given and one more is given is a aphelion, or we can also call apogee. So will the planet take equal times to travel it is, so that let the speed of the planet at is asking the ratio of a spleen of a planet. Of course, see, we know the relations are, we know that is about a, we should take a angular momentums, because angular momentum is nothing but a mvr, right? Mvr, this is mvr. So let us you say at a p position you take, because it's asking related to the velocity, and velocity is related is asking. So at a p is nothing but a what we can say, it is a perihelion place. So it is, you say mp and vp and rp, and here at a, that is aphelion, you say la, ma and va and ra. See, p is nothing but a perihelion, a is nothing but a aphelion or apogee. So now this angular momentums are equal, so that you say la is equal to lp. So here ma, it is VA, RA is equal to MP, VP and RP. Of course, mass of the planet is same, no, at both the places. At this place and in this place is the only, that planet only, no. At this point the planet is MP is equal to M, you see, and the same planet, no, which is revolving in the elliptical path, so that you make a cancel this MA and MP, because which is equal to M, no, then VA, RA is equal to VP, RP. Therefore, VA by VP is equal to, cross multiply this, RP by RA. So this is the ratio of velocities. Or you want to say from here, we can also take like this, because it is VA by VP, no. So you want to say VP by VA, this you take this side, then becomes what happens, RA by RP. This is about a speeds. That mean here velocity is inversely proportional to R. If distance increases, that's what I told you in the clear information in the previous class. If at a long distance, it moves very slow. Long, if it is long distance from the sun, that planet is moves very slow. That's what is inversely proportional, no? If distance increases, therefore speed is decreases. And it is very close to the sun. When very close to the sun, what happens? It is moves a very, it is a speed is increases when compared with the farther point. That's what is inversely proportional. V inversely proportional to R. Distance increases, speed is decreases. When distance is decreases, speed is increases. So this is about a one question related to the Kepler's laws. One question related to the Kepler's laws on the basis of Kepler's laws, right? Now, so we look into the next problem. Till that you see that solution and you refer the question in our material. Right. So on the basis of Newton's law of gravitation. Newton's law of gravitation. Here. So look at the question. Question number 1. Page number is 237. So the problems it is. In the problems page, say two spherical balls of each mass is given. Each of mass, two spherical balls, that is given as 1 kg. M1 is equal to M2 is equal to given as 1 kg. And is placed at a distance. The two are placed at a distance of 1 centimeter. So that here M1 you say and M2 you say. Find the gravitational force of attraction between them. Of course, is asking F. Very simple problem. Simple. We need to find a F. Yes, we need to find a F. Distance is given in centimeter. No? 1 into 10 power minus 2 meters you take. F we know, capital G, M1, M2 by R square. See, of course, capital G also we know, 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square it is. G value it is constant, we should remember. And here, coming to the point is, let you substitute all the values and get a F. So, F is equal to G, 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 into M1 is given as 1 and also M1 is given as 1 and R is 1 into 10 power minus 2 whole square. So, it is becomes F is equal to 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 by 10 power minus 4 because 2 square no, it is becomes 10 power minus 4. Now, you cancel 10 power minus 4 and it is 6.67. If 4 is cancelled no, what is left over here? See, out of 11 no, so that it is maybe 10 power minus 7 newtons. See how it is, very easy it is. To get force it is very easy. Like that there is a second question also is there. Yeah, we'll see the second question also. Yeah, question number 2, look at same page number, question number 2. Read everyone question and you write a what is given data, then after write the formula, then substitute all values whatever given, then do the calculation. Yes, look at the mass of ball 4 times the mass of another ball. So I don't know first ball mass. You take one ball which is mass M1 is equal to you say 4 M. When this is another ball of mass M2 which is equal to given as 4 times the another ball. So the first ball mass we don't know, but the second ball mass is given, it is the 4 times the first ball. Another ball is saying you take M1 as M, M2 is you take as a 4M. Then these two balls are separated by a distance. So there is a distance is given as 10 centimeter of course. So R is equal to 10 into 10 power minus 2 meter. We should convert into meters. So the force of gravitation between them, there is a force is given as 6.67 into 10 power minus 7 Newton. Between them the force is given. Find the masses of two balls. Find the masses of two balls. It is a question mark and this is also question mark. Simple. Two balls are separated by a 10 centimeter distance and one ball mass is, it is the 4 times other ball. Is a first ball mass you take as M1 is equal to M. And in the question only says is given as M2 is 4 times the first ball. And there is a distance between the two balls are 10 centimeter and there is a force is given as like this. So we need to find a masses. So now use this, there is a formula we know, that is capital F is equal to capital G M1 M2 by R square of course. But here M1 is equal to M, M2 is equal to 4M. You write directly this. So first you need to get M, then after M you substitute the M value, will get the both the balls masses. So F is given as 6.67 into 10 power minus 7 is equal to capital G 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. M1 is as M, M2 is as 4M by R is 10 into 10 power minus 2 whole square it is. Of course, you cancel 6.7 it is which is similar no? So that you cancel it and what is left over you look at 1 is equal to, because this side is 1 is there and here 10 power minus 7 is there or you say 10 power minus 7 also you make the cancel, and here 10 power minus 7, 10 power 7 is cancel, no, will left only 10 power minus 4. So 1 is equal to 10 power minus 4 into 4 m square, because m into m square, by 100 into 10 power minus 4 again, because square no, 10 power minus 4, again you cancel 10 power minus 4, you cross multiply, 100 is equal to 4m square. So m square is equal to 100 by 4. So m square is equal to no, 4 ones, it is 4 ones, you say it is a 2, and it is a 5 0, 2 ones 2 25s. So it is a root over 25, right? So m is equal to 5 kg it is. So that m1 is how much now? 5 kg, and m2 is how much? It is 4 into 25. So we'll get the 100 kg. So like this is the calculation related to given masses which are separated by to be like this. Four fives are no, sorry, 4 5s no, of course it is 20, sorry to say 20 kg, because m is 5 no, here 4 5s are 20. Clear no? Any doubt here related to this? Any doubt? Right. So there is another problem is there. There is a third question which is also very very important. Question number 3, continuation, and read every one question. Of course, what is given? The given you mention. Then after, what is asking? Right? See, question number 3, page number 238. Question number 3. I'll explain you question. 3 spherical balls of masses 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. 1 kg, 2 kg and 3 kg is placed. 3 kg are placed at the corner of equilateral triangle. Say 3 are placed at an equilateral triangle like it is given. You take here 1 kg here, 2 kg, your wish, anywhere you take, because it is equilateral triangle, no? Find the magnitude of gravitational force exerted by a 2 kg, 3 kg mass on 1 kg mass. See, there will be a force of attraction is asking. See, there is a 1 kg, there is a force, and it is also force. Of course, both will exist like this, because this is experiences a force on this, and this is also experiences a force on this. This is experiences and a force on this, and this is also experiences, both will be mutual forces. And the distance between this, how much is given? Equilateral, 1 meter you take. Here we need to find a what? The gravitational force of attraction between the forces. You take as between the 1 kg, no? Suppose you take between the any two, there will be a force. You say F1 it is. Between M1 and M2 I am saying this is M1 and it is M2 you take, and this is M3. So between M1 and M2 you say. Then after M1 and M3 you take, because he is asking only this, no? F1 and F2. So that you take as F1 is equal to, that is G M1 M2 by R square it is. So here you write M1 as 1 kg, M2 as you take as a 2 kg, right? By R value is given as 1 square. You keep only G value as G only. Don't write a G substitute, right? And go for the F2. That F2 will be what? Between M1 and M3, no? G M1 M3 by R square. So F2 is equal to G into M1 is 1, M3 is 3 by R square. See, F2 is equal to 3G by 1 square, no? So that here we will get a 3G. Now this both will be acting at this point. F1 and F2 are acting at this point, no? So both will be acting at an angle of how much? 60 degree, no? In equilateral triangle. So that we know F1 we know, F2 no. So in an equilateral triangle, how much is the angle here? 60 degree. So there will be a resultant is represented like this. So according to the I mean to say Fr is equal to root over f1 square plus f2 square plus 2 f1 f2 cos 60. So that Fr is equal to f1 is what, 2g whole square plus f2 3g whole square plus 2 into 2g into 3g into cos 60. Of course cos 60 is nothing but a 1 by 2. So 2 to cancel. Fr is equal to 2g is nothing but a 4g square plus 9g square plus, it is 2 into 3, 6g square it is, right. Now you write Fr is equal to will be 19g square. So Fr is equal to root 19g will be like this. So this is an answer related to this question, because it's asking the force at any point you take, not only this. Suppose sometimes he may ask you this force, yes, you get a same formula. So this is what it is related to, gravitational force and the Kepler's last problems. So we'll see the next related problems also is there in the next class, we'll see, right. This is about today's class, and we'll see in the next class. Thank you very much.